With a multitude of sightings from all over the ship, this location is arguably one of the most haunted destinations that you can visit. In this episode, I'm going to be discussing the history and hauntings of the Queen Mary.
So, how much do you know about the Queen Mary?
I know that it's haunted
Yeah.
and that it's quite a popular haunted location that people visit. I've seen different YouTubers visit it. I also know that it's been closed on and off every now and then, or certain rooms have been closed. But I don't know too much about it. So it's named after like a queen.
Yeah. So
Queen
it was
Mary.
a passenger ship, which I think that just means it carries people, right? It was just a boat, basically.
Passenger ship.
They carry people.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But it was...
A passenger ship is a type of vessel designed to transport people for leisure, tourism, or commuting purposes.
Oh, so it's just a
Yeah,
boat.
it's literally just it takes passengers, yeah.
Right. But over that time when it was taking passengers, apparently over 50 people... I saw a lot of different numbers, but over 50, I would say, people passed away on the ship. Yeah.
Whoa.
Lot of people.
Wait, so over the time it was a passenger ship,
Yeah.
a lot of people passed away.
That was...
Do we know the causes of this?
we know some of them, yeah. I would assume a lot of them also. They're just...
But is this relevant to paranormal activity or just coincidence?
The deaths?
Yeah.
Well, I would assume people, if you believe in it, who died
Have
on the
linked
ship.
it to that.
Yeah, and then they haunt the ship.
Right, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Queen Mary is a retired British ocean liner that sailed primarily from the North Atlantic Ocean. Where's that? 1936 to 1967.
Yeah, that's not too long.
It's known for its size, speed, and luxury.
Do you know the
It's a
speed of it?
tourist attraction and hotel in Long Beach, California.
Yeah, they docked it in. That's where they docked it. That's where they go
Right.
to it when you do like haunted. When you go there, because it's a hotel you stay overnight.
Yeah, it has a reputation for being haunted.
Yup.
What's apparition? Is that like a apparition's like a ghost? I think. Feeling cold spots. People feel cold spots.
Yeah, they do.
What does that mean? Like in their
So-
body?
No, I would assume like in certain areas they just get cold. I think that's what that means.
So a cold spot
Ghosts?
is where the temperature is noticeably colder than its surroundings. People believe cold spots are related to paranormal activity.
Or you're just like do you ever get scared and you get cold? I get cold when I'm
Get
scared.
the shivers.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly. I think that's
I reckon some people mistake the shivers for that,
yes.
but maybe also just
That's
cold.
what I think.
I don't know.
Okay, so the room B340. I don't know if that's how you say that. Have you ever heard of that room on the ship?
Yeah, I believe I've seen like paranormal kind of YouTubers
Yeah,
stay in that room. It was closed for a while.
it was. Oh, yeah. The room was closed quite a few years, but then it reopened in 2018.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
So I know people stay in there because it's known as the most haunted room.
Do you want to know some of the stuff that goes down there?
In the room? Yeah, like is there a reason it's haunted? Is there a particular ghost we think that haunts it?
So guests have reportedly said that their covers have been pulled off them in the night. They've been sleeping, blanket gone. And then also taps turning on and off just by themselves.
Ugh.
Yeah.
The scary one is the blankets and duvets being pulled off.
That's terrifying.
That is mortifying. I think we both know we tuck our duvet.
Yep.
We hook them onto our feet.
That's what because the lady, she was sleeping there. She said I don't know, allegedly, her cover came off and she saw a man stood at her bed and she watched him disappear.
Ugh.
She should have hooked her feet
So
under
her
her
cover
duvet.
came off and then she saw the man.
Yeah,
That's
that's scary.
she alone? Because I couldn't handle it.
I don't know if she was
Be
alone.
free. I'd be straight out of that room and off the ship.
Yeah, I'd go
into
home.
the sea.
But then you might pass and haunt the ship.
B340
Yeah,
is the room, right?
yeah,
So people say
yeah.
about the Queen Mary and about B340 that a murder happened. Apparently that's why it's haunted. And some guests have reported different things happening in that room. It's definitely got a spooky reputation. I want to know more about that murder. What murder happened? People say a murder happened, but that might just be hearsay. And that's why it's haunted, apparently, because the murder happened.
Oh, the room is said to be haunted by a man who passed away in the Stater room. Stater? What is that? I don't know what that is.
I'm not too sure about that. Yeah.
It is also linked to an incident involving a murderer who was locked in the room,
That's terrifying.
leading to a series of bizarre events.
A murderer was locked in the room.
Allegedly.
So a murder didn't happen in that room. A murderer was in the room.
There's so many different things that it says.
It's hearsay.
So
It's
I
all
guess-
hearsay.
Yeah.
Where? You know what I mean?
Because when you look into it, people say a lot of different things.
Yeah, like
There's not a single,
solid.
yeah.
Yeah. But apparently that's the most. But
Well, there are a lot of haunted locations, but I think that one...
the funny thing about that room is, if you're I want to know this. Is it genuinely just people going on there and having haunted experiences in this room and talking about it because it's stressful, and then we're like, well, every other room hasn't had anything weird happen, but this room has? Okay. Or is it chainmail? Is it people, one person gone in there, made up a story about having a bad experience, and then everyone's labelled it as, oh, be careful of that room. More people start going in there, assuming it's going to be scary,
Yeah.
and then everyone says, had a horrible experience in B340, it was terrifying. But you've gone into that room thinking it's going to be scary?
Yeah.
So, is it just chainmail? Everyone assumes it's scary, so that's the most haunted room. Because if the ship was actually haunted, surely there'd be a few haunted rooms.
Well, there's other haunted...
There are.
There's other haunted locations on the ship.
Really?
Yep. The swimming
Tell me
pool.
about it, pirate.
Wet footprints appear, even though the pool is empty.
The pool's been fully emptied out. Is this recently then? Wet footprints
I
are
guess people
appearing?
just go there and they see wet footprints.
And first of all, why are people walking around with their socks off near the pool anyway? Let alone...
well, we might be the ghost. Oh, the ghost.
That's my point.
No, because do you know why?
There's no explanation for it, because normal people are not going to have their socks off, and normal people are not going to have their socks off and feet wet if there's no pool. Therefore, that's my point.
And people say they saw, like, a woman with old kind of style, swimming
Old style
clothing.
swimwear.
Yeah, they've seen a lady wearing that.
Oh,
So maybe it's her-
what? Like what year?
Oh, yeah, I thought you meant what she was wearing.
No, I want to know. I would like to know what time period this swimwear was from.
I think late 30s.
Oh, okay. So kind of. Yeah. All right. Because I got scared.
Yeah, a woman named Sarah is said to have drowned here and is occasionally seen in 1930s style bathing attire.
She drowned and she's still in her
Apparently
bathing
so.
attire.
Go,
That's
get out,
crazy.
get out. If
I
I
hate that.
if I was a ghost
I'm not ready for
and
that.
I traumatically
I'd
died
be
of
getting
something,
changed straight away.
not only would I be getting changed, I wouldn't haunt the place. I wouldn't stay by that swimming pool if I
Why
just
would-
drowned in there.
If you just... That's true, actually. Ghosts are funny because a lot of people say, oh, usually when there's a ghost somewhere, they're haunting the place that they had a bad experience at.
Yeah. Do you think they're locked there?
So I think it's weird that ghosts stay in the place they stay and they haunt the places that they were traumatized in, the places where they've had bad experiences.
You wanna
That's
know-
weird to me because if you had a bad experience, like we were just saying, if I had a bad experience or trauma from somewhere and I died, I wouldn't be going back to that I won't be going back to that location I had a bad experience in. I'd be going to a place I like.
Yeah.
And also, people might say they're trauma bonded to that location.
Really? Do you want to know another?
No, that's just me. A
Oh.
theory. I'm making a theory. Some people may say.
Really?
I reckon some people might say
They find comfort in it. Like,
The-
they don't want to leave.
these ghosts are trauma bonded to that location, or they're angry and they're trying to get revenge on someone else. And why did I have to have a bad experience in here? So now you're all gonna. Or I swear I was gonna come up with something else.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
You want to know another example of that?
go for it.
There was a young man, I'm quite sure. He was working on the ship, but he got crushed to death by a door during like an emergency drill. And people have said, I think it's the same man, I could be wrong, but they've heard him say like, oh, where's my wrench?
Yeah, you said wrench.
Wrench.
Yeah.
Which wrench is a tool
Tool.
of some sorts. I don't know. I'm not a handyman.
Neither am I.
But he wants his wrench. And he stays where he got crushed by... That's worse than drowning, in my opinion.
Crushed by a door.
Crushed by a door.
Drowning though, like, you know them dreams where you're getting pulled under the water and you're drowning, you can't stop.
No.
Or falling. Do you ever like go to sleep and you're
yeah.
and you think you're falling?
That's really scary.
And I was going, and I remember.
Yeah, they see a man in blue overalls standing near the door.
That's horrible. I'm near the door right now.
Similar to the pool, unexplained greasy handprints appear. Maybe someone's just scared though. They're sweating they're sweating and they're like, oh my god, let me go home, and they're touching the wall.
Yeah, that's.
What if that's the grease?
No one's doing that.
Unless they mean grease as in like, you know when someone's been
Or
working.
tool grease.
Yeah,
Or your-
not like hand sweat
yeah.
grease. Yeah. Also, the I can't remember if I said about this, but the ship, because of its high speeds, it was turned into like the soldiers would go on it during the war.
Mm-hmm.
You
So
know?
there'll be a lot of trauma there. A
Yep.
lot of sad
A lot of-
memories. A lot of
Yeah,
pain and suffer.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
And there were loads of soldiers on the.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be carrying that vibe either way, really.
Yeah. Do you want to know some of the things that guests have reported while
Go for
shadow figures walking the
it.
halls?
Shadow figures. That's one thing I am terrified. Fancy you just see a shadow figure.
Hell no.
You know, everyone says there's a popular shadow figure. It's the Hat Man.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
You ever seen him?
I have. No, sorry, I haven't seen him. I thought you just meant like.
She's a compulsive liar.
No, I've just seen things about him.
Yeah.
I've never seen him walking around
Yeah,
my
you've
house.
you've heard about him is what you mean.
I've heard
You've
about
heard
him.
of him. Yeah, I've heard of him. Sometimes on TikToks they come up.
Yeah.
Sometimes on TikToks I see about him, and
Yeah.
a lot of the comments are like, "Oh yeah, I've seen him. It was the most traumatizing experience." All these comments saying it. "Oh, I haven't seen him, but I've seen this one." Crazy work.
They've also heard doors slamming on their own.
Doors slamming on their own, could be wind.
Or could be wind.
Windy
I think.
place, the sea.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's really true.
Door slamming is much more explainable than shadow figures.
Yes, for sure. Well, also, you just see things out the corner of your eye,
Yeah, but then people say they see these vivid shadow figures.
which is what they've seen on this ship.
Multiple explanations. Obviously, this person, you know what there is? There's this person's story,
Yeah.
our perspective on it, and then the truth.
Yeah.
But this person's story could either be a lie and they know they're lying, or this person's story could be, I did experience this, please believe me.
And then
You're
no
making me-
one's believing them.
You're making me feel insane because now I'm double checking and anxious about the fact, am I lying? Well, I thought I'd tell the truth. I thought I definitely saw it. They might be thinking that.
I reckon that happens a lot to people.
And people could either been sleeping the night and they've got sleep paralysis and they've seen that and they've woken up and hadn't realised what I experienced with sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
They didn't realise because they haven't thought much into it. So then they've labelled this story their whole lives. To the point 10 years after telling the story, someone says, what if it was just sleep paralysis? And they're like, no, it wasn't. Because they're so believed in the story now.
Yeah.
Or it might not be sleep paralysis.
I mean, I just think there's no other explanation, really. You know that woman who got her covers ripped off her? She
Yeah.
saw the man. She watched him disappear. But, like,
That's no shadow.
do you know what? Okay, do you know what? Something that's been happening to me recently.
Or
Before bed, I have been seeing...
oh,
No, on my mother's life, because it was stressing me out. It's not scary. I just see spiders. I hallucinate spiders, right? These big spiders on my bed, but then I watch them go. Like, they're not actually there. And I think other
have
people...
you seen? Are you on your phone and it's in the corner of your eye?
No, because it's
Or
when
have you been looking like?
it's when I'm going to sleep and I can't sleep. And I'm like, oh, I open my eyes and I haven't been on my phone and I just see a spider. Because the first time it happened, I had to get my dad to come up and look in my room because I
Is it-
genuinely thought there was a spider.
Is it
But I just hallucinated
you
it.
making shapes out of things in the room? Because I'll see my girlfriend's jacket and think it's a man in the corner.
See, that's what this lady could have done as well, though. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
exactly.
saying. It can be explained quite easily. And you,
I'll see my girlfriend's coat and think it's a man in the corner and freak out.
right.
What about the spiders then?
Well, I'm scared of spiders.
Have you got a pattern on your duvet?
No.
I'm terrified of spiders, but I don't hallucinate them.
Yeah.
Girl, you need,
It's just when I'm really tired and I can't sleep.
Lately, I've been on my phone, and in the corner of my eye, I'll see things moving about, and I look and there's nothing's there.
Yeah.
That's just shadows and lights and perspective.
Yeah.
Sleep paralysis is when you're temporarily unable to move or speak while falling asleep or waking up. It can be pretty scary because you're aware of what's happening but can't control your body. Sometimes people experience hallucinations too. Usually it's harmless and goes away on its own in a few minutes. That is a Snapchat AI description of that.
Interesting.
I think that it's interesting, sleep paralysis. It's terrifying because you cannot speak. People will say, why don't you just scream? You can't. You can't scream. If you experience sleep paralysis, you won't be able to go, ah, because you can't.
Yeah.
You'll be silent. So say you're sleeping, you wake up, you cannot move, not even your mouth. Looking around. You might see just the room around you and you're just like, and you have to wait until it's done and then you can finally move. Or you might be seeing something scary. And in that case, you can't do anything. You're like this. You can't do anything. You can't even
do
talk.
anything.
So usually I'd go, mum. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I can't do that. All I can do is shut my eyes.
Okay, so do you think overall the ship is or is not haunted? Because let me also say before you give your opinion, staff, not only have people who have visited the ship stayed overnight, but staff have also had experiences
Right,
there.
stuff. So they're people that have to go there as work. It's not for a little fun haunted adventure.
Oh.
It's for work. Therefore, that's more believable.
They've seen lights flickering with no electrical explanation and locked doors opening, and seen figures in old-fashioned clothing vanishing into walls or elevators. That sounds very story. That sounds quite... Of
I
course you
think
saw that.
that if you were going there with the intention of, I've heard a lot of hearsay about this place, I'm excited. Why don't we go there to experience some paranormal?
Yeah.
Obviously, you're
They're
going to
ready
make
for it.
any little story. I heard a door slam.
Yeah.
Curtain flung open.
You know, sometimes I think when I'm walking, there's someone walking behind me, but it's just my footsteps.
Same
And it's
with-
'cause I'm
same
already
with
scared.
Me on Fortnite. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what these people have when they go to the ship.
But I honestly think if you're going there with the intention of we're going to go have a fun haunted day on this haunted ship, of course you're going to make anything you see into a haunted story because you're going there with the intention of hopefully coming out with some evidence.
Yeah.
Staff, it's a bit more believable because you have to go there. It's your job. You work there, so maybe you wouldn't be going there. With the
But I
intention.
feel like that's kind of scarier though, because you're there.
You have to be.
You have to be there. You can't always really like go if you need to go.
Mm.
But then again, you hear all these stories, and then guests, people visiting the ship,
And
they're saying
you're
things.
paranoid.
Yeah.
Paranoid.
You're very
Sometimes
paranoid.
You're paranoid and anxious. You might
Yeah.
be making up things in your own head, or seeing things, or convincing yourself you've seen something, convincing yourself you're hearing things.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I think a lot of it's placebo effect.
Yeah.
If you're going there as a fan of the paranormal, you want to believe it, you want to go have some fun, or let's stay there the night, a group of people, you're going to be going there
You're ready for it.
wanting
You're
to know.
yeah.
Placebo, because you've already heard and watched all these videos that's terrified, so you're, oh, it's haunted, oh my god, I'm so excited,
You're
I'm
also
so scared.
you're just expecting it. You're expecting it to happen
You're
to you,
expecting
and
it.
you think, oh, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna hear a door slam.
It's like the videos where they say, oh, I gave my boyfriend orange juice but told him it was gin.
Yeah.
And then he
and
starts
he gets
acting
really drunk.
Exactly.
So is that your
placebo.
opinion on this?
Yeah, it's placebo. I want to. I've said this before. I do not believe in ghosts.
Oh, you don't? I thought you did believe in ghosts.
I want to. I don't believe in ghosts because I believe that it's just not realistic and it's fantasy. However, even right now I'm getting scared something's going to grab my knee. So maybe I do. Maybe I think I don't. I don't believe in ghosts. However, right now I'm still scared I'm going to get patted on the back. So maybe I think my mind is open to the possibility that even though I don't believe in them, they could be there.
Yeah.
So maybe I am starting to believe in them. My mind is open. I am open to believing in ghosts. Totally open to that. I want ghosts to be real. I want to believe in them. And I hope my mind changes and I do start believing them. You know what? I say I don't believe in ghosts. When I think logically, I don't believe in them. When at night, and when I'm scared,
believe in them.
I think I do believe in them. Because if I didn't believe in them, I'd be sat here like, yeah, nah, that's not going to touch my knee right now. So actually, I changed my statement. I retract my statement. I think I partially do believe in them, and I definitely want to. I'm a very scared person. I get scared very easily. I used to struggle with sleep all the time. I am scared of my own shadow.
Your own shadow.
I literally, right now, am scared of the possibility a ghost is going to grab me. At night, I'm scared of that. I'm scared I'm going to see something. So maybe I do believe in ghosts. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be scared. So I retract my statement.
So you do? So do you...
I want to, I'm open to it.
So do you believe it's haunted or no? Or not?
I think I need to go there.
You don't believe people's experiences from
I'd
there?
need to go to the Queen Mary for my own opinion on it.
Okay, that makes sense.
I went to Borley Rectory and get a bad vibe off it.
Yeah.
Really weird vibe off it.
See...
But do you want to know why?
Is that because you were expecting to get a bad vibe?
If I didn't know Borley Rectory was supposedly haunted and I hadn't heard all the hearsay, I would have literally gone there and been like, oh, this is a pretty church.
Yeah.
This is pretty countryside. But no, as people have planted these ideas in my head, placebo effect. I went there and I felt scared. We had ghost equipment. Of course I'm going to feel scared. It was dark.
I know. I have a thing though, because I don't believe in ghosts at all. But do you think there's people who don't believe in ghosts, who have gone to haunted places, had ghost experiences, whatever, but brushed it off and been like, oh no, it's just this. Definitely. And they don't think about it. So it goes both ways, kind of.
It goes both ways. But I'd never even knew about Borley Rectory. I'm sure I'd probably drive past it.
I didn't know about Borley Rectory.
I went there in 2022. Found out about Borley Rectory the day I went. I had the most scary haunted experience. I was so scared. It wasn't a haunted experience. I lie. You see, I'm lying by accident. It's natural. It was a scary experience. Do you know why? Because that night I'd heard stories about headless nuns. I'd heard stories about headless nuns and monks. I've heard stories that evening, and then we went there in the dark and we had ghost equipment and I was scared. Placebo effect. If you drove me there and said, we're going on a walk to a nice church, hadn't said any of the stories, I wouldn't have felt that weird vibe. Or maybe I would have. That's the whole point. We need to do it. Social experimentation.
I reckon that's probably been done already.
Exactly. So I just think it's placebo effect. I really do. There's my opinions on ghosts. I want to believe in them, but I think it's placebo effect. And to be honest, I don't even know if I want to believe in them. I want to go and have fun and do these haunted, what do you call them, like, such a haunted place. I don't want to see a ghost, but I want to feel the fear and, scary, fun night out. I actually want to see one. So maybe I don't want to believe in them. What are your opinions on the Queen Mary?
I do not, well, I don't know, because I find it hard. I don't want to call people liars. Or
invalidate someone's experience if it is true.
Yeah, because obviously that's really terrifying.
It could be a sensitive topic, because as much as we might be forming our own opinions on this, some of these stories could be real to that person.
Yeah.
Therefore, we're invalidating them. And that's why it's a bit touchy.
I don't believe in ghosts. I find it hard to believe that the things happened. Obviously, not the actual, like, the man being crushed in the door. Obviously, I believe
You
that.
find it hard to believe the paranormal experiences. You know facts.
Or
but-
not just even the experiences, because I'm sure a person has had an experience of some sort. So
But I'm
I'm
sure-
not saying you're lying about
You
that.
said it could be explained in
But
another way.
I think so, personally.
A scientific explanation.
Yes, that's what I think, personally. I think that would make a lot more sense than someone haunting an area.
Are you happy with your opinion, or do you want ghosts to be real?
I want them to be real. I very
So
much so want them
you
to be real.
Don't believe in them, but you're happy with your opinion. You're open to changing your mind.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm open because I don't want to see a ghost.
I'm not open either, just to put that out there to the ghosts.
You don't want to be haunted. See, that's why I kind of get scared to talk about it, because I get scared.
Because I get scared we're inviting them in.
Yes, I'm scared if I say, oh yeah, no, I don't believe, whatever. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, you want to see?
You believe.
Do you want to see?
But if you say I'm open to it, they might be like, oh, alright then.
I'll show her.
I'll-
I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not open to it. I want you to be real, but don't tell me about it.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay.